with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. It's like that. You know what I mean? It's just, but it's their sandbox. So what are you going to do?
You just have to go along with it. I will say.
I know it. Yeah.
I tried, honestly, back a few months ago using Facebook Live at the same time I was doing my broadcast. And this is back when I didn't have the listenership I have now. But, every night I did do the Facebook Live, and I think I did it like 4 nights in a row. I couldn't figure out why I didn't get as many people listening on the radio show. They would tune in, high numbers. I think at one point I had like 1,400 people listening on Facebook Live or watching Facebook Live. And then I went on but then I went and checked the next morning, on the server, how many people were listening. And, and it took a big hunk out of people listening in the United States. So, I mean.
Oh, okay. Huh. And that's something. So they've got ways to finagle it to try to get you to succeed in giving in to the money.
Well, I will say this, we got to go, but remember MySpace? It really, before it went bye-bye, basically?
Yeah.
It got really commercialized. All of a sudden, the last year of MySpace, it was commercial, type of stuff popping up all the time.
Yeah, it flooded it.
Facebook is doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you there. I do agree with you.
I mean,
absolutely.
Half of the posts I go to read from people are advertising. So, I mean.
Oh, I was just going to say that. You go into a post or a link, it's got great information. You got to, and they're sneaky because you go to the next picture or something that the post will jump a little bit, so then you accidentally hit a link onto a link that's an advertisement, and you know what I mean? And it's, I don't like it.
Yeah.
They're tricky.
I understand that they're there to make money, but I think they should, and I think they've gotten away from what they originally set up to be. I think it's now more commercialized than it is to socialize.
Yeah. And eventually that it implodes on itself, I believe, because it just keeps growing that way, and it overtakes. It's just one big commercial. Eventually, it overtakes the meat and potatoes of what it's supposed to be.
Well, one day, a lot of people are going to turn on their Facebook, right? And they go, I don't want any more of this crap. And that's the end of them ever being on Facebook. And I mean, I hate to say it. I see it happening. And I'm sorry, guys, in Facebook, if anybody is listening that works at Facebook, you guys are getting too commercialized and got away from what it was supposed to be. Yeah, I see you guys want to make money. But you're going to eventually get to the point where you're going to be like MySpace. No one's going to use you. You're going to be a has-been.
And see, that's where the greed comes in, because here's the thing. Short term, that's going to work, but what happens is it implodes and you lose the long term, which you will make 1,000,000 times more money in the long run by regulating it and having the long term instead of cutting it off and burning your bridges, and you lose out.
Oh, yeah.
People don't see the big picture. They just see the here and now and make a lot of money. Well, you know what? Yeah, if you make $1 million here, and then you burn people out in 2 years, you made $2 million. But if you're making $100,000 a year, but you can go for 50 years, you're making more money, and because that multiplies with the people, and it just keeps growing. But otherwise, you implode on yourself, and you know what? If you have no MySpace, how much money are you making off of it?
Nothing anymore. Whatever. And I will say this little comment. I have, like, on one of my Facebook groups, I got 4,700 friends. And I know for a fact, if I sent out a post, probably out of 4,700, maybe 100 see it.
You know what I seen the other day? Something where, like, they only do your top 26.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, then you hope that the people that when you post something, they'll share it and get it out to another 26, and maybe somebody will share it there.
Right. Now, I have figured out what they do is, it's like your friends, I figured this out, whatever, like if you see the post, you comment on it or you like it or something, those will keep coming back. What you need to do, if you're only getting 26 out of whatever it is, you're only getting so many, you need to, like, go to your friends. You need to go to your friends and punch up a bunch of them and comment on, just keep commenting on something on all your friends that you can. I know it's hard to do that with 4,000 friends, but I mean, that's how you can expand anyway if you had to. But you shouldn't have to do all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that all changed around, let's see, around February.
February, yeah. Yeah. Because I remember seeing stuff about that. And
yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I really, really enjoyed having you on. And
I love being here. I really did, Gary. I just loved it.
Yeah, well, now you know I'm just like you. I'm maybe a little bit more stranger than you, but...
I doubt that.
Yeah.
I doubt that. I really appreciate you having me on, man. I had a good time just sitting around the living room talking with my friend, man.
Okay.
That's what it's all about.
Well, keep in touch, will you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, hey, you want me back on again? You know how to get a hold of me.
Well, like I said, if you want to co-host the show, it might be about a week or so. I'll send you an email or through Facebook and say, hey, you want to co-host on a night? And I'll bring you on and we can just do what we did tonight, like with Michael did.
I love it. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, sir. Well, you have a great evening.
All right.
I know it's getting late
too.
there, so you take care.
You take care, too. Thank you very much.
Okay, James.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
And if I scared anybody out there, I just don't worry about, the fissure it opened up at Yellowstone. Don't worry about that. And don't worry about the plates out there in Washington through Oregon that could kind of collapse and cause a huge, tidal waves that could be, hundreds of feet tall and take out Seattle and Tacoma and LA and San Francisco. Don't worry about that. And simply don't even worry about if there is a planet X, Worry about just taking each day as it comes, and make sure you tell your spouse and your kids and, your loved ones that you love them. Say, hey, I love you. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to just have another talk into the paranormal. And then next week, well, we got some major guests back on talking about, guess what, UFOs and conspiracies and things like that. And that's what the show was all about. And again, I just want to say that if you are taking various medicines and stuff like that, make sure you check out if everything is compatible. Like one of the medicines I was taking wasn't compatible with 3 other different pills I was taking. And then on top of it all, one of the other medicines I was taking you couldn't take aspirin with it. And the doctor never told me that. There's nothing in writing. Man, be careful on what drugs you take. And, if you have to take it for pain, try to wing off and take as least as possible. Like I said, yesterday I could barely do a show. I know an Art Bell for many, many years. And no, we weren't a close friend where we talked every day. We might have gone months without talking. But then we would talk for an hour or two, occasionally, and text each other quite often. And I known him for a long time. And like I said, if it wasn't for Art Bell, I wouldn't be doing this. He's the one that told me, hey, get back and do a talk show on the internet. And, it was a big shock for me when he passed on because, I didn't talk to him for about a month before he died. And, we were talking about things about my show and what's going on with, with another person on another show. And we were talking all about that stuff. And, we were talking about the weather earth changes. And I said, I wish I would have got one of the original books signed by you, the coming global storm. And, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't tell him, hey, do you have one you could send me? I didn't even say nothing. And then the news dropped that Art Bell passed on a Friday. And I was in total, I could just barely do the show that night. It affected me. And I'm still affected from yesterday hearing about how he died, because he didn't have to die. But I understand, when you're in a lot of pain, you don't want to be in pain, because I had that problem. And I'm going to be more careful now than I ever have, because I want to be here with my loved ones as long as I can. And it was really strange. The weekend went over. I got my mail Monday. I go to the box and open it up, and here's a package from Art Bell. And I'm going, oh, I wonder what he sent me. I get into my studio, I open it up, and there was the book I was talking to him about. It took him a month to mail it. But ironically, I got it just a couple days after he passed on. And that was really hard. I mean, here I am in my 66 to be honest with you. I haven't cried, God, since probably the early 70s. I haven't cried at all. Guess men supposedly, right? Don't supposed to cry. I broke down like a baby, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It affected me that much. I mean, if it wasn't for art, think about it. The paranormal wouldn't be like it is right now. It wouldn't be a household name. You wouldn't have all these UFO groups and paranormal groups going out, ghost hunters, Bigfoot, all this stuff. It was, if you really think about it, it was Art Bell made it a household name. It made it okay to believe in the paranormal. It made it okay to go out and seek paranormal things and try to prove if it does exist or doesn't exist. So for that, we all owe that to Art Bell. And with that, before I start crying, it's time to say goodnight. And we'll be on tomorrow from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific time.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you